within 10 minutes of this first date, I was holding her hair back while she was vomiting on a gravestone from the 1800s, thinking this girl's going to hell.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Single Sounds. I'm your host, Katie Mack, and I am the creator and founder of this dating podcast or matchmaking podcast where I interview singles, and you as the listeners of this podcast only have one question to answer. Would you date the person that I'm interviewing? If you would like to date them, please write into the Instagram at Single Sounds, or you can email me and I'll put you in touch with this lovely individual. This week's character is looking for something organic, like finding someone on a dating podcast. He isn't afraid to share all his toxic traits and his opinions on football fans. If you are an embarrassing person like myself, he could be a risky person to date, but will love you even more for all your endearing quirks. He has endless hilarious dating stories and is very chivalrous. Okay, hi, welcome to Single Sounds.
Hello, how are you?
I am good, thank you for asking. I love when people ask me how I am.
I know, I actually heard you say that on the podcast, so I thought I have to tell her.
Get in there quick. That's so funny. How are you? You feeling good?
All the better for being on here.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Excited?
Yeah, very excited.
Good. Let's dive into your profile then.
Fantastic.
Who, what, where? First one, who are you sexually attracted to?
Woman.
Nice. And what are you looking for?
Okay, so hear me out. I'm not looking for anything specific. I think people that constantly look for like a serious relationship will end up
not finding one.
Not finding one, or will just end up settling for just any old, tripe.
Fine.
So I, find someone as you go along, just in day-to-day life, preferably not on Hinge.
Yeah.
Something organic like a podcast.
Yeah. Something different. Organic. Love that. Super organic. But yeah, no, I know what you mean, as in like you're open to the idea of something long term, but you're not going to tell everyone that's what you're looking for.
Exactly. I used to live with two Christians that were constantly looking for a relationship, and they just went through relationship after relationship just because they just were just trying to find someone to marry.
Yeah.
Not that has anything to do with them being Christians, but
no, it's a different kind of pressure though. That pressure when everyone around you's also married. Some of them
We're
get
at
married
uni.
at like 20. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, if they're really religious, they can't have sex before marriage. So
Well,
that
that's it.
like puts loads of pressure on it as well.
Yeah, it was great being next door to them because I would never be kept up at night, which was great.
Yeah. Never hear any awkward noises.
No.
Any height age preferences?
Not really. I mean, age, obviously, someone in their 20s, maybe early 30s, preferably not any higher.
Yeah.
Height, I'm 5'11". So
Well done for being honest.
yeah, well, actually, 5'11.5". Actually, it is exactly 5'11.5", 6 foot with shoes. But no one ever believes me. And when I take them back home and I get my measuring tape out, they're like, "Oh, actually, you are actually 5'11.5".
Yeah.
You just slouch.
My boyfriend is 5'11.5" too.
Oh, is he?
But on his Hinge, he
I
did
reckon
put
I'd have
6 foot.
He put on 6 foot. Oh,
He rounded up. He rounded up.
He put tissues in his shoes, I guarantee.
Do you round down or do you round up?
I round down.
Yeah.
5'11".
Good.
I'd rather, not disappoint people.
No, I think that's better. I genuinely do. I'm fed up. There's this like, he's like a dating influencer I follow. He's called like Max Tripp. I don't know if you know him. He's American. Very annoying. Has a lot of followers.
Because he's American?
I mean, I just think his advice sometimes is so dodgy. His main advice for last week was he was encouraging guys to lie about their height on dating profiles. To me, that's just like a 101 don't do.
Sounds like a twat.
Because you're just going to disappoint people. But his theory, which I guess it probably would work, but it won't work for long term.
No.
He was like, it will get you in, like your foot in the door, and then you can like win her over with your personality. But like, she's still going to know you lied.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. At some point. I mean, there are these shoes now which add an extra like 3 inches onto you.
Yeah, those
and I'm just like,
platforms.
what are you going to do when you take them off? Like, not everyone's Jamie Cullum. Not everyone can have a girlfriend that's, 4 inches taller.
Yeah, no. It's not what everyone's looking for, so.
No.
Okay. I think we covered it then. And
Okay.
how about where?
Well, I live in southwest London, but I work in Bloomsbury. So if you're,
Central.
an easy commute to work,
Yeah.
easy.
Easy.
But I don't really mind. As long as you're in London, I don't want to be going, catching flights.
No. I'm not about that either. Some people say they're okay with it. Some people say like train rides, and I'm like, yeah, okay. Just like Reading, I guess, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Reading's okay.
Reading's okay. It's okay.
It's okay, but
it's just okay.
I
still think it's effort, isn't it?
I mean, I go to Reading, but I don't. People from Reading are just. I am from Reading, so I know. But
me too, and I don't live there anymore for a reason.
Thank God.
And I won't live there again.
Not unless I have to.
I'm going to move to another suburb.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, we're going to move on to your 3 A's.
Okay.
First one, acceptance. First off, going in strong with your most controversial opinion.
Well, this one I was actually quite worried to say because I was listening to your podcast the other day.
Sometimes they're not controversial, are they?
Well, no, this one is. This is very, very controversial, and it might be quite offensive to you, actually.
To me, okay.
Well, because you mentioned the other day that your mum's a football fan.
She is. Man City.
And my controversial opinion is that that the only thing worse than football is football fans.
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree.
I fucking hate them. Honestly, football in general, first off, FIFA, what a terrible game. They bring a new game out every single year, and it's the same game.
It's the same, yeah. I don't get
but
that.
I don't even
just
know what's different.
Just updated players, I guess, for each team.
Then there's football, the game itself. It's 90 minutes of people pretending to be hurt, just falling over.
That
just
is true.
Nothing worse.
Being pathetic. Yeah.
But then what's even worse is the fans, chanting random rubbish.
Mm-hmm.
I was stuck on a train with some Coventry fans the other day.
Oh, that is the worst.
And they were just literally, it was only 20 minutes. It felt like 2 hours. They were just chanting, just shouting the entire time. And I was just like, mate, you're from Coventry? What are you gassed about?
Yeah.
Like, I get it. They were playing Luton again. You're from Luton, why are you gassed? But that sounds really mean. But I just hate it. But where it comes from is you're from Reading as well.
Mm-hmm.
My dad used to take me to all the Reading games.
Same.
And they would lose.
I had a season ticket for 6 years.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, poor you.
With mum.
Oh, that's so sad. I'm sorry.
They would lose.
But he would take me to every single game.
They'd always lose.
And they would always lose, or it would be like a 0-0 game. And I absolutely despised it. It was awful. And honestly, I hated it from the moment I went. But I carried on with it for 3 years with my dad, just to try and make him happy.
I quite enjoyed it, actually.
And literally after 3 years, I went up to my mum and was like, Mum, I don't know how to bring that with Dad. I really don't want to go watch football with them anymore. I felt like I was coming out.
Yeah.
Honestly.
That's sad.
I told him, he was like, oh, that's fine. I'll just take your brother instead.
Oh, okay.
My brother enjoys it for some reason. But that's my controversial opinion, just football in the bin.
I don't hate it, to be honest. I do dislike the fan culture. I think there's some awful statistics, especially domestic abuse when it comes to like the World Cup and stuff. Like, it's really scary.
Yeah.
And I do think it encourages like some weird, aggressive, I don't know, behaviours.
You get some
just
like
men.
football firms just fighting.
Yeah, and it's just crazy that every other sport, all the fans can sit together, but football they have to literally be separated by police.
And they can't drink as well.
Yeah, and you can't bring in pints. No,
rugby you can drink.
Yeah,
cricket, what is it they say? They say
them.
football is a gentleman's sport played by thugs, and rugby is a thugs game played by gentlemen.
Mm.
But don't get me wrong. I like the World Cup.
Me too. This is the thing, and
I
this
like
is
the
why
World
I feel
Cup.
like a bit of a fraud, being like, I don't like football because I kind of do.
The only reason why I like
it, the Euros too.
Well, I mean, the only reason why I like it is it's because it's an excuse to go to the pub.
Yeah, I like how everyone comes together for it. I think it is controversial for a guy to say that.
Well, it's like a job interview, isn't it? Where they ask you like what's your biggest weakness, and then you say something which is actually quite positive.
Yeah,
which basically means I'm not gonna ignore you for football, basically.
Yeah. No, I agree, because like honestly, quite a few of my friends have dated guys that are like massive football fans.
Yeah.
And it literally controls their lives. Like every Saturday they have to go to the game, but it takes out the whole day. Like they have to leave in the morning. They normally meet people there pre-game. Obviously then the game's not that short. It's like 2 hours all in. And then to the pub after, come home drunk, and it's like they can never get a weekend with their partner because they're just drunk every Saturday
It's just
football.
awful, isn't it?
Yeah, I wouldn't. I've never dated anyone that's like super, super into football. Like I've dated people that like it and watch it, but if they were going every, Tuesday for the home games or the away games, or every Saturday for every other game, I'd just be like, no, because that's what I had to do with Mum. I literally had to go every Tuesday and
Just
Saturday.
dump your mum.
No, I did enjoy it. Like sometimes I didn't want to go. It must be said, especially when it was on a Saturday. I quite like the Tuesday evenings though, because what do you do on a Tuesday evening?
Just not watch football.
Just not watch Reading lose.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll move on. We're done. We've done enough football.
Yeah. I'm bored of it.
We're bored of it, over it. What is your most toxic trait?
So, I actually have 3.
Love it.
But I don't know which is more toxic, so I'd be interested in understanding what your opinion is. So, the first one is I'm incredibly stubborn.
Okay.
Like if I walk out the front door and I'm not dressed warm enough, and I know that I'm not dressed warm enough the day or the evening, I won't go back. I'm just like,
that's quite toxic.
And if someone says to me, "Are you sure you're gonna be warm?" I'm like, yeah. I never get cold. Just like I never burn.
I'm bad with the sun cream.
Terrible. It doesn't encroach on my life that much, apart from maybe goosebumps and just feeling a bit uncomfortably cold every now and then. But it is definitely stubbornness. And then I'd say the second one is I'm a big feeder. So if you're ever trying to go on a diet, if you're ever trying to be healthy, no fucking way. Like I will wake up on a weekend and you're like, what do you want? You want some avocado on toast? No, you're not. You're having eggs and bacon.
Okay.
What are you doing this Sunday? You just want something healthy? No.
Roast.
I'm going to cook a roast.
Nice.
And you're going to eat about 20 roast potatoes because I cook the best
and all the
roast potatoes. And if they tell me that someone else has cooked better roast potatoes, I'm so stubborn that I'll then spend about 4 hours looking up how to cook the best roast potatoes. But I do cook the best roast potatoes. So this is the worst one. This is, in my opinion, the worst one. I've got a very big mouth. So whatever comes to my head, I will say. And like in many different situations, it can be, I'm not confrontational, but the first thing that comes to my head, it can get me in trouble. Or if someone's done something embarrassing, they don't want me to tell anyone, sorry, mate, you shouldn't have done that embarrassing thing. That's your problem, not mine. But yeah, it gets me in trouble quite a lot. And it's probably more toxic towards me. Actually, it's not, because I embarrass quite a few people that I'm around. I tend not to get embarrassed by things, so I don't care about what I say. So I'd be interested to know, what do you think is the most toxic out of those 3? The last one. The last one for sure, because like you said, you touched on it then. I would be worried that you'd say my embarrassing stuff. I don't think, it doesn't sound like you'd spill like something that was serious. No, never. But I do so much embarrassing stuff, I'd be worried. Yeah, you'd be... I'd be in trouble. You'd be a goner. I remember my ex-girlfriend, there was always this one story which was like, don't fucking tell anyone, especially my friends. And I was like, well, I really want to now. I had a few drinks and they were like, so how do you meet? I just kind of skip past the how do we meet and straight to the most embarrassing story I could think of her. Do you want to know it? We can cut it out if it's too bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, so it was the first time she ever stayed around, and I wake up in the morning after, and I wake up to this like really nice, affectionate stroking on the back of my head. I was like, oh, that's really nice. She's being affectionate. She wasn't. She was trying to check if I was awake. So the stroking stops, and I was a bit like, oh, that's a shame, but I'll just carry on sort of lying here. I'm still half asleep. And there was this eerie sort of silence. And then suddenly this massive... And I was like... I turned around immediately. I was like, what the fuck was that? And her response was, I'm so sorry. I thought if I spread my cheeks, it wouldn't make a noise. And you know what was weird?
That's brilliant that she just told you that so candidly as well.
And I was like... I turned around. I was like, that is fucking hilarious.
That is hilarious.
I think I love you a bit more now.
Yeah. That's funny.
But she specifically told me not to tell her friends, so I told all of her friends.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah. Poor girl. If she ever listens to this,
sorry.
I'm going to be castrated.
But, yeah, I mean...
Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. I love...
I just spat red wine in my face.
Oh no! I mean, it happens when you're with someone. Like these bodily functions just have to go somewhere. I mean, I've done it loads. Like when I've just met someone, I like go in another room. I just like make some excuse to like walk away.
Yeah.
But like, You've got to do it.
But I've taken that tip off her, and now like if
Does
I
it
need
work,
to,
though?
if I walk out the room, and if I go into the bathroom's next to a bedroom, just spread the cheeks.
Did that actually work?
And it just
but
goes,
it didn't work for her.
It didn't work for her, but she had quite a big bottom, so
They weren't spread enough.
Yeah, so they wouldn't spread enough. But it's just like a
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I need to try this.
Try it.
Yeah, I am.
Good tip.
Tomorrow.
It's a good tip.
Maybe later.
It doesn't get rid of the smell, unfortunately.
No, but like that's why you can like if you walk away. I feel like but
well, exactly.
That's quite funny though.
Yeah.
Although I find the silent ones are the deadly ones, not the noisy ones. All of them.
They're all awful, to be honest.
They're all awful. I like that though. That probably did bring you closer. I bet you wet yourself.
But I didn't. I
would have not been able to control my laughter.
I did. I thought it was brilliant. I wet myself when I was telling people because I knew how embarrassed she was.
Yeah, it makes it funnier.
But I was in the moment. I was thinking this is gonna be perfect to tell someone on a podcast.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
We'll move on to adventure section. Are you going to take us on a journey of your stories? To be honest, you already have. That last story was brilliant. That was a really funny dating story, so I can't wait to hear this one.
So I've got so many bad ones, but if they ever listen to this, I would not be alive in about sort of a week or two. So I'm trying to think of the one that's the least outrageous, but still funny. If you do go on a date with me, I will tell you all of them on a date. It's like a bottle of wine's worth of stories. But anyway, so this one was my first ever dating app date. I think I was back for summer after first year of uni, and I matched this girl who I went to college with, and I always really fancied her. Never had the balls to go over and speak to her though.
Mm-hmm.
So I matched with her. We start speaking, and we say we're going to go on this like first date to this like pub in the middle of the countryside, in the middle of nowhere. Turn up to the pub. I always really like to get to the pub or to any date, like any first date, sort of like 10, 15 minutes earlier.
Oh, what a gem you are.
But partly, so there's already a drink on the table. You don't have that awkward sort of,
I love that.
Yeah.
That's why you do it, to have it ready. I just think that's like the smoothest move.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like, because you've found out about the podcast like a bit earlier, we had like an update episode where a girl was giving like her feedback on how the podcast date went, and that was like the first thing she said. She got there and she said her favorite drink on the podcast, and he'd already ordered it, and that's just such a good start. Like people need to do that more. I've already spoken about it a lot. Like it's such an easy thing.
Well, that's it, and it's also gets rid of that awkward sort of, we're at the bar, I'm trying to order, you're trying to speak to me. I don't know.
A few of the worst dates have started with that. Like they queued for the bar for like half an hour, and
yeah, exactly. Or they're just sort of sitting there trying not to get trying to make sure the table doesn't go.
Yeah, exactly. Someone's at the table, someone's at the bar. It's like a whole thing.
But anyway, this wasn't quite as quite of a successful date story.
Even though you tried with all the prep.
Well, yeah. So anyway, I did the exact same thing. She said she likes rosé, so I was sitting there with a beer and a rosé. The rosé was for me. I gave her the beer. I didn't do that. And anyway, I'm sitting there. She's meant to be here in 2 minutes, and I get this text from her saying, "Hey, sorry, I can't make it."
No.
And I was like, so in my head, I was like slightly embarrassed. So I messaged her saying, "Hey, don't even worry. I haven't even left yet." And I bear in mind, she knew that I was a 15-minute drive away.
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, I haven't even left yet, so don't worry." And I get a text back immediately saying, "Oh no, I was just joking." And I was like, "Oh, so was I." I actually am sitting here with 2 drinks. So anyway, this is a good start.
Oh, that's quite funny though.
So anyway,
cute.
I see this car drive in to the car park, and it's her friend dropping her off.
Mm.
And out she gets, and her eyes look a bit cross-eyed, and she's walking towards me in a sort of zigzag, and I was like, she looks absolutely fucked. 10 minutes into the date, well, for more context, this countryside pub was next door to a graveyard, and within 10 minutes of this first date, I was holding her hair back while she was vomiting on a gravestone from the 1800s, thinking this girl's going to hell.
Yeah.
And had to call up her mum. I had to go through her phone, find mum, and be like, "Hey, can you come pick up your daughter?"
So
First off, I promise you it wasn't me that got her this drunk.
Yeah. She just arrived.
She literally just arrived within 10 minutes. So it turned out she was so nervous, she downed a bottle of wine before turning up. Turned up, vomited, got picked up by her mum, So I just went out to Purple Turtle in Reading.
Classic venue.
But no, I still went on like 5 more dates with her.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
That's nice
I in a similar way to the, the fart situation. I find embarrassing moments quite endearing.
Yeah,
and it makes you feel a bit closer.
Yeah. It just shows you're human, doesn't it?
Yeah,
we all do stupid shit.
Yeah, exactly. I just thought it was endearing that she was that nervous to see me that she had to down a bottle of wine. I don't want to do that every time she sees me.
No,
but the first times I'll let it slide.
That's really sweet. I feel like that would be a classic. And if she told the story, being like, "Yeah, I never heard from him again." So
yeah, no, it's one of those ones. Literally, only ended because it was in the summer of in between first and second year, and I just went back to uni. So it was just like, well, this isn't going to work.
No,
I'm in Bournemouth. You're in Southampton. I'm not making the 20-minute journey.
No, it's so funny that at uni, like that was such a big deal. If someone went to another uni, I was like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I remember, like, I had a boyfriend at school at the time, and I told him that if we don't go to the same uni, it's over. Like, I was really blunt about
Oxford
it.
and Oxford Brookes.
No, yeah, literally. I literally was like, no, like, same with gap year. I was like, if you take a gap year and I don't, like, it's not going to work. Yeah. I feel like, but that age, though, it's not that serious, is it? You're just like, you want the convenience and nothing else.
I mean, I wouldn't say that.
No?
I'd happily get a 10-minute train.
No, now.
I'm joking. I would not even do that now. But yeah. But I've got so many more. So many worse ones.
Too many.
In fact, so many incriminating ones. So, but I'll tell you them after. When we're not recording.
That is the benefit of being me.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Get to hear them all off air.
Yeah.
I do need to do like a premium content model where I put them all behind a paywall.
Yeah, do that. Was it Patreon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
Do that, because I don't think anyone's going to pay to want to listen to me. No one that I know anyway. And then you can just put it up and people pay and they'll probably actually be like, oh, God, that was anticlimax.
That wasn't actually that funny.
Yeah.
Or incriminating. Okay. And next section of adventure. What is the biggest risk you've ever taken?
Probably. So I came out of a relationship and I set my age range on Hinge to 35 plus.
Nice.
It's wild out there.
I bet it is.
There's some interesting characters. One of which was a 37. I was 25. She was 37. Had a child. She was recently divorced.
Mm-hmm.
The kid looked like an absolute twerp. That's really mean. But he was like blonde, short, spiked up hair, always wears a football shirt. I was like, you're definitely in the headmistress's office.
Yeah.
Like once a week.
All the time. It's like Bart Simpson.
Yeah, Bart Simpson. He looks like Bart Simpson, but didn't have jaundice. And anyway, so I was talking to her for about 3 days. We say we're going to meet up, go to the Ship in Wandsworth, because that's, the best place for a date. Not.
Classic.
And
bit busy.
Within the first, 20 minutes, she's telling me about all the sex parties she goes to, and that she's going to. I was like, this is fantastic.
Did she invite you?
Well, she did, yeah. But I was sitting there thinking, I'm all for sex positivity.
Yeah.
But, I don't particularly want to hear about you getting how great it was to be gangbanged.
Yeah. Not
last
really
week.
First date.
Yeah, and how great it's going to be next week as well. So that was an interesting one. And there's been a few others. I mean, you get weird messages. They just speak very differently. I got the weirdest,
They probably just don't give a fuck.
Well, I was trying to be smooth. Shall I read out this Hinge message?
Yeah. Message. Go on.
Where is it? Here we are. So there was this woman. She was 39, about to turn 40, as opposed to 41. I matched with her. She goes, "The older woman?" ? Really? And I thought I was being smooth. We're going, older? I didn't even notice. She goes, "I like that." Everyone was always really shocked, inverted commas, genuinely, when I say I'm 40 in 8 weeks. I find other women my age a bit stuck in their ways and boring and grumpy and frumpy. I'm not like that. I'm a glitter in my eyes and a bounce in my walk. Maybe a bit of a wiggle. I was like, unmatched.
Wait, that was the second message she sent you?
That was the second message she sent me. She sent me another one after.
I wonder if she copy pastes.
Probably.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Wait, what was no, go on. What was the follow-up?
That was a screenshot. One sec. I didn't actually unmatch her. I got a bit desperate and messaged her back one day.
You were like, maybe that wiggle sounds fun.
I did wait about 2 months. Where is it? Oh, yeah. So I didn't reply to that. And she goes, "Hi, I was just looking through my messages on here, and you are the person I'm most interested in. I bet. I am, because I'm 15 fucking years younger than you. I
Or
like
did
your
she send
vibe.
that to everyone?
I like your vibe and your profile. Would like to know more about you. So I got offended
Wow.
by this, about her like being most interested in me, because one of her answers on Hinge was that she really like she's weirdly attracted to Michael McIntyre. And I was like, I am nothing fucking like Michael McIntyre. Well, I hope I'm not.
No, you don't look like him.
Yeah, but you know, do I like wiggle my head around, or do I do weird? Am I like weirdly
Hand
expressive?
actions, yeah. He does like weird
Yeah,
movements, doesn't he?
yeah.
I think he's really funny though. Do you not think he's funny?
I used to when I was about 12.
Okay, fair.
Uh,
I got shot down there. That's
No,
fine.
I'm sure he's funny. I like that segment he does where he like texts people, like he takes the celebrity's phone and texts people. I think that's really funny. That's such a good idea.
Yeah, that's on
You should
his
do that on this
show.
podcast. You should do that. You should take up my phone and go through my Hinge.
Yeah.
And just message people to awful things
being like
at the beginning, and then wait till the end and hope that someone's commented and said.
I bet the thing is, it'd be so anticlimactic that no one would say anything, would they? No one would reply.
It could be good.
Unless they're like, all right, this person's on a podcast, like, tell us what you really think of their profile.
Yes.
That would be funny.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
You can pay me later.
I'll pay you later. Slip you a £5.
That's okay. £7.50.
Let's do affection section. We're gonna do your biggest ick.
Oh God,
Quite
yeah.
excited to hear this one.
So my biggest ick is like really bratty girls.
Okay.
So, I mean, I realise I've just given an example of every single question you've asked me, but you know, girls that like I've genuinely met girls that have made Veruca Salt look like a fucking angel. Honestly. Anyway, this is one of my ex girlfriends, and I went round for Christmas. So a couple of days before, she had accidentally smashed her iPhone, smashed into a million pieces, and just for the context, and then I go over for Christmas Day. She's got the present that she's asked for, and then afterwards, her dad, loveliest guy in the world, he's like, "Oh, I've got a surprise present for you," and so he pulls out this little box, passes it to her, and she's gleaming. She's got this big smile on her face, opens it, and it was one of the new iPhone 5Cs. You remember the ones like the plastic
the coloured
ones?
Yeah.
And it was a white one, and she just looks up to her dad and she goes, "You're fucking lucky it's not the green one." Not thank you.
No.
Oh my God.
Because she didn't want the C, she wanted the S, probably.
She can get what she's given. She smashed her
She
phone.
smashed it, exactly.
And she got given a new iPhone that was newer than her last one. And she
Yeah.
was like, "You're fucking lucky. You didn't get the green one." And I was sitting there just like, I'm still on a flip phone.
Yeah.
What? What?
I'd be buzzed with my white 5C.
I felt so bad. The dad was so
I had
lovely.
the yellow version of that.
Oh, did you? Oh God, that's not very lucky.
That would have gone down bad.
She would have. Yeah.
I love the yellow.
The dad was recently made redundant, so he was the loveliest guy, and it was so nice for him to buy that for her.
Yeah.
But their little sister as well was just as bad. Like he bought them a Mini to share, but like when she turned 17, when the little sister became 17, she starts sending him links to like Land Rovers.
Land Rover.
Being like, "This is the one I want. I'm not driving that fucking Mini." Literally those exact words. "I'm not driving that fucking Mini." I was like, what? I was sitting there thinking, where am I? Who am I going out with?
Yeah.
And what? It was awful.
That's so bad, though.
But ironically, the moment, so I'd obviously always had this flip phone.
And no Mini.
And I turn 18 and I finally get a iPhone. First time. And I was at Henley Regatta and I'd broken up with my ex at this point. And I was just looking at my iPhone, just so happy with it. Just so happy with it. Just like, oh my God, I got an iPhone. Like it's touchscreen. Yeah. This is amazing.
No, the first one I got, I was 17. So I was really old as well.
God, spoiled. So
1 year.
I'm walking down the road.
3 Blackberries before that.
I'm walking down the road with this iPhone. And out of nowhere, this hand grabs my brand new, I've had it for 5 days, bearing in mind. Out of nowhere, this hand grabs my iPhone out of my hands, smashes it on the ground. I look up, it's my ex-girlfriend. Completely broke it, like destroyed. I was she was shouting me at the same time, and I just didn't hear anything.
No,
I was just looking.
That's
there was
awful,
just Simon and Garfunkel going through my head, just looking at this sort of iPhone in a million pieces on the floor. And
that's awful, though.
I know. So it's full circle.
I would have been writing to her dad being like,
I did.
You owe me a 5C.
No, I didn't do that.
No.
I felt bad. But my dad messaged him, be like, that's a bit out of order.
Your dad messaged her dad?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, listen, because I was working in a pub, I was like, I'll pay for it, but just never speak to me again. Well, I did speak to her again. We're friends now.
Okay, all is forgiven.
I just make sure I have an extra strong case whenever I see her.
Yeah, one of those indestructible ones.
Yeah. Actually, I saw her recently, actually a year ago, and I mentioned the story. She's like, I never did that. And her friend who was with her as well, she goes, I remember you doing that. You did do that. She's like, yeah, I did do that.
We were such little dicks at 18 years old, though. I feel like we have to forgive ourselves.
I forgive myself.
I mean, that's awful. I would never do that.
I've forgiven her.
But...
I'm. It's fine.
Yeah.
Her punishment is, getting it shoved all over a podcast that's going to go out.
Yeah.
Everyone knows now.
Everyone knows how terrible person you are. I've literally had some people, that have said stories about, obviously anonymously on this podcast, and the person it's about has messaged the guest being like, how dare you share that story?
Really?
Like,
see, this is what I was worried about with all the other dating stories I think about telling.
Oh, we're onto your bestie rec.
Oh, fuck's sake.
The part you're least looking forward to.
Ladies, prepare to be swept off your feet as I introduce you to a true gem of a person. Today, I have the absolute honour of sharing with you why someone should wholeheartedly embrace the opportunity to date my exceptional friend. First and foremost, let's talk about his culinary prowess. He's not just an amateur chef, he's a culinary artist, a master of flavours and textures that will tantalise your taste buds like never before. Picture this. Candlelit dinners with exquisite dishes, each one crafted with love and creativity. With him, every meal becomes an experience, a journey through the realm of gastronomy, of course, utilising his wine experience to pair the perfect Sauvignon, Bordeaux or Rioja. Now, we do probably have to address the elephant in the room, and that is his undeniable handsomeness. When he walks into a room, heads turn, hearts skip a beat, and smiles effortlessly appear on faces. His charming presence is magnetic, drawing people in and creating an aura of warmth and comfort. You'll feel like the luckiest lady in the world to have such a stunning partner by your side. But wait, there is more. Prepare yourself for an avalanche of laughter as my friend possesses a wicked sense of humour. He has a natural ability to find joy in life's quirks, effortlessly transforming ordinary moments into unforgettable adventures. With him, you'll find yourself laughing till your sides ache, creating memories that will forever be etched in your hearts. Now, I won't deny that my friend is not exactly shy when it comes to the fairer sex, but let me assure you this, his charisma and charm are qualities that can never be suppressed. His genuine nature and respectful approach to relationships create a sense of security and trust. He values connection and understands the importance of making his partner feel cherished and loved. In summary, my friend is like the perfect recipe. A culinary magic of a chef, a pinch of Hollywood heartthrob, a sprinkle of wit, and a litre of charisma, making him the true gentleman who will always put you first. When you date my friend, you're not just entering into a relationship, you're embarking on a journey of laughter, culinary delights, and a love that will leave you breathless.
Well, sounds like he wants to date me.
That was like a love poem.
Yeah, I mean, it was simultaneously the nicest thing anyone said about me, but also the most cringe thing anyone's ever said. But no. Well, I'm seeing
he
him
didn't slate you, so...
yeah, he didn't. I'm seeing him on the weekend, so we'll kiss then.
Yeah.
Call me.
He just there were so many words used.
Yeah, he's,
I loved avalanche of laughter. That was... He really got, I'm telling you, that was his GCSE English coming through.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he even got GCSE in English. he was mute when I lived with him.
Clearly his passion's in writing.
Well, that's very kind of you, Charlie. Thank you. Love you.
Love you too.
Fuck you.
No, he got in your... Are we going to talk about your food account? I quite like to talk about it. I liked it.
Yeah. I mean, what do you want to know?
Well, I liked your... you had like a series of... I can't think of the exact wording.
The movie ones.
No.
Oh, the How to Escape the Friend Zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Through cooking.
Well, I did 2.
Oh,
and then I started a new job and I was like, oh, I haven't really got time.
I thought they were really good though.
Yeah,
it was a fun angle on cooking.
Well, that's it. Well, I found. So I made this food Instagram account. I made a website as well, but I don't have the website anymore. I love cooking. I love cooking for other people. Always been very creative, and now I've sort of funneled. I did fine art at university.
Oh, cool.
And I kind of dropped that. I haven't picked up a paintbrush since 2018, and just sort of funneled it all into food. I love cooking for other people. I think it's, whether it's friends, family, dates, it's like how do I put it?
It's like gifting, but in a nice way.
It's like it's like an art with a very sort of basic function, and it's like I like the fact that
everyone can enjoy.
Well, that's it, and it's like one thing which you make, and it's specifically for that moment. It's not like I've done a painting that you can sort of look at for the rest of history. And I feel like it's a good expression of how you like care about someone. That's what I tell people, but actually it's just fantastic for your dating life.
Yeah.
Honestly, this is the worst thing. My first date, I'll always ask them what their favorite cuisine is, then sort of slyly ask them what their favorite meal is. Second date, usually drinks. Third day, I'm like, right, come round, I'll cook for you.
Favorite meal.
And oh my god, this happens to be your favorite meal. Oh my god, I didn't know. and it's brilliant.
Yeah, so that's really fun.
I've just told everyone my tactic. So
yeah,
that's that out the window.
Can't use that anymore.
I'll just paint them a painting instead.
Yeah, that'd be nice. To be fair, I don't think anyone's painted me anything.
Well,
that's pretty special.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
dating the wrong people clearly.
No,
date of fine art majors.
No, don't. They're all weird. I've had shit's more stressful than that entire degree.
Also, he got in your wine experience.
Oh yeah. So I now work in the wine industry, importing wine from all over the world and then selling it to restaurant, bars, and pubs in London.
So cool. I love it.
So it's cool. So
job.
Well, it's good. I mean, I used to be quite into my fitness and health, and now I'm just a glorified alcoholic. It's just I'm constantly pissed, but I know what wine to buy.
Yeah. No, again, I think it's a really good skill.
But it's brilliant.
It's a life skill.
People will come up to me like, I hate Chardonnay, but I love white Burgundy. I'm like, that is Chardonnay, you twat.
Yeah.
But then again, that's what I would have said about 6 months ago. I would have said the same thing. And now I've turned into one of those. I must be dreadful on a date. All in, like I go to a restaurant, looking through the wine list. I can tell you about the wine. I can tell you about the food. It must be diabolical to go on a date with. I have to keep it in.
I think I just let you pick me everything though.
Well, that's it.
Because I know nothing about these things. So
yeah,
I like food a lot.
Yeah, but realistically, you can say, oh, that's white Burgundy that's meant to be nice, and then I pick it, and it can still taste like dog shit.
Yeah.
So it means nothing.
I mean,
but
surely you could do like, if someone said, oh, I really like sweet whites, you'd know roughly what to pick.
Yeah.
Which is quite a good skill, I think.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of what you ask the waiter, don't you?
That's it.
If you're not sure.
Riesling.
Yeah, that's my favourite.
Yeah, is it?
German Riesling, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's off-dry Riesling, which is why. Anyway, this is boring. I would sound like a twat.
I'm going to wrap up with a short summary of why someone should date you.
You'll never go hungry. You will always have a great selection of wines to drink. You should have a lot of fun, I hope. That's about it. I mean, I thought I was confident in myself, but I'm struggling here.
You won't know. You've got more. You won't be dragged into football games.
Yeah, that's good.
A good one.
I'm not going to sort of, forget about you to go watch football or play video games. I'll be there, most likely forgetting about you, cooking you a meal.
Yeah.
I can't speak and cook at the same time. It's so bad.
Instead.
But yeah. But I mean, Charlie's put it all into a beautiful poem. So
yeah, just re-listen to that.
Just I wouldn't say Hollywood heartthrob, but I would say I'm quite good at cooking. So, yeah.
But you will get an avalanche of laughter.
I hope so. I think
that's good.
Unless you're boring.
Then it's on you, not. Then it's on them, not you.
It's always on them.
Yeah.
It's always on them.
So if you don't want to go hungry ever again, and also will have the best wine to drink with all your future meals, make sure you write in to date this character via Instagram @SingleSounds or via email. Also, if you could take a moment to rate or review the podcast on whatever app you're listening to. That really helps with discoverability and gets us more matches and more dates. So please, please, please help everyone out. As we all know, the quest for love is a challenging one. Thanks for listening. See you next Tuesday, where I will be sharing the live show recording with you all, featuring Alex Warhouse and Danny Scott. Have a great week.